Hello there, this is RomWills coming back at you with yet another video. Once again, it is Sovereign Saturday. A sovereign lifestyle must become a habit. And usually I would avoid putting that word in the title so y'all don't see some YouTube something about some sovereign citizens. I ain't talking about all of that. That's something totally different. As y'all know, when I talk about sovereignty, I talk about having control in your life where you can and leverage where you can't. And I'm gonna tell you what, if you live in a lifestyle like that, it must become a habit. It must become something that you are doing without even thinking about it. You ain't consciously thinking about it. Yeah, I've done a ton of videos talking about that life, and yeah, you working towards it. But you want to get to the point where it's just natural. It's just natural. You want to take control. You want to take ownership where you can. Where you can. Unfortunately, only people who might have total control is maybe these ultra billionaires, and not the ones that are making it in the news. I'm talking about that old money family, and even many of them, they might not have as much sovereignty as they would like, because every single person on this planet has control, has a choice over what they want to do. But that's another conversation over why people will follow someone else. But if you are working towards becoming that sovereign man, if you're working towards it, it needs to be to the point where you are doing it even when you're half asleep. You half asleep. And even though I'm not big on drinking, you could be knocked out, drunk, whatever. Even though I would go against that. But if you decide, hey, you want to knock yourself out, hey, if it's your choice, fine. But even then, you want to be sovereign, no matter what. No matter what. It needs to become a habit. Even when somebody comes up and say, you must do this, or you must do that, you must follow me. You're looking at them like, nah. No matter what they saying, no matter what they doing, it needs to become a habit. It needs to be something that you're doing just as much as you're breathing. That's how deep it needs to be. Just as much as you're breathing, just as much as you're just eating. It needs to be that type of habit with you. Seriously. Because you have too many men out here, they're really following. They're really following. They're really following the theys or whatever the situation. Sadly, you got too many men following women out here. They following. They don't have any real control over their life. They want somebody else to do something. And I don't mind saying this. I remember somebody hit me up. They have been working someplace for years, and they hit me up. It's like, well, what can I do? Even though they were in their 40s. I was like, I don't know. I don't know your skills. They wanted me to tell them, like, you in your 40s. Now, if you're in your teens, I'll give it to you, or even your 20s. But if you're in your 40s, you should have an idea what you want to do. In fact, for any of the younger guys out there, the guys in their 20s, their teens in their 20s, hey, I give you a break, but this is where you want to get to. By the time you hit your 30s, you want to know what your mission is, what type of sovereignty that you want to build, what type of control you want to have in your life. Because if somebody has to tell you, you don't have sovereignty. You don't have control in your life. You going by what other people are doing. And also, I had mentioned this not about breaking any laws. Because one thing, when you get caught up into the legal system, in any way, you no longer have sovereignty. And even with relationships, when you are dealing with a woman, you still need to have control. Don't let that big old booty distract you. If you feel like you following her, and you going against your plan, what you're trying to do, you don't have sovereignty there. And you have many men out there, unfortunately, giving up who they are just for that woman, because she had that big butt though. Nah. No. It must become a habit for you. Because here's something. Even when it becomes a habit, if somebody tries to take your leadership from you, take your control from you, try to direct you in their way, you're not going to do it. And you don't even have to think about it. You be like, nah, I ain't going for that. I ain't going in that direction. That's not who I am. In fact, you ain't even going to say it. You're just going to be like, nah. You just going to be like, nah. You don't even have to think about it. You don't even have to equal it. Like, I give you an example from my own life. I constantly get people hit me up, say, hey, I can get all these subscribers for you. I could do this for you and that. Delete, block, delete. Because I don't even think about it. It takes me about, 2 seconds, because I'm like, nah. Because if I'm following this person, I'm going by this person, I'm paying this person, I'm not doing what I want to do. Now, if you make a conscious decision, that's what you want to do, as long as you maintain control, that's cool. But that's not me. I was like, why would I ask somebody else to do something that I can do? Why would I pay them? Because if they coming to me, asking me, shoot, pretty soon they'd be like, oh, you need to do this or that. In fact, I remember, and I deleted this on this channel. Somebody was trying to tell me, well, don't do these videos. You could lose all these subs. Block, delete. I don't know who this person is. I was like, whatever. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about and go the place I want to go. In fact, let's get into that real quick. People who follow me a long time notice you can't hit me up saying, hey, why don't you talk about this? And some people try to get slick with it. They'll try to say, oh, yeah, I know you don't talk about stuff, but if you were to talk about this, I'm like, no. And the reason I don't do that is people will try to control you, even for money. Even for money, don't let people do anything for money, because once they can get you to do something for a little bit of money, then they can get you to do something for a lot of money. I mean, seriously. Now, if somebody's stupid enough to give me $1 million just to think about it, man, I ain't gonna lie, I might take the money, but they only paying me to think about it. If I don't want to do something, I ain't gonna do it. Now, if I want to do something, I'll do it for free. If I want to do something. But see, that's the thing. Like, I talk about, like, on any of my channels, I talk about what I want to talk about. That's just who I am. I do the things I want to do. You have to make being sovereign a habit that you ain't even thinking about it hard. You ain't not even thinking about it hard. You want to control what you can control in your life, and at least the areas that you don't have outright control, at least have a leverage. That's a sovereign lifestyle. Even if you have to rent out an apartment, house, whatever, you want to be in a position where you there because you want to be there. You want to control that. You want to get your credit right. That's being sovereign. If you want a job, you have to work for somebody else. You want to be in a position where you have some leverage, at least some leverage on what you're doing. And I've been, as I always said, I've been on 1,000 jobs. There's been some jobs I didn't have leverage. Hence, I wouldn't be on that job for the very long. But jobs I had leverage, hey, I was good. But even better, just being in business for myself. And I want you to think about that. I want your sovereign lifestyle to become a habit that you ain't even thinking about it. It's just something that you're doing. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Keep rising to become the sovereign man that you are meant to be. Peace and blessings.